Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to show you guys a GTK4 GStreamer application I recently made. I really like this because this example is not present in the GStreamer documentation. They have something similar to it, but I think this example really shows how you can use GStreamer and GTK4 together. Before I start to show you the code, let me show you guys what the application looks like. We're going to cargo run it. And you can see this is our little GTK4 application. We have the open file, play, pause, and stop button. I can go down. I can, let's say I do test video. I play it, and as you can see, it plays it. You have the position here. We also have audio in this thing.
Samsung is the relate.
We can pause it. We can stop it. So it works pretty well. And you can choose another file again, right? You can do this one.
Samsung is the latest and greatest.
It's still loaded, perfectly fine. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna clear it, and let's go down the code. So before I go to the main.rs, what's more important is to go through this GTK manager.rs, because this is where most of the application logic is happening. This is mostly just initializing GTK and creating the UI and the window for the GTK. But essentially what we're doing in here, and I'll go over this in a bit, but we're gonna be running a function in GST Manager asynchronously, and that's gonna be this little bit of code right here. But let's go to GST Manager. Let's look at what's happening here. Obviously, we first of all have all of our imports. We have a little error message struct here. It's really not that important. But this is the main important part. So we have a struct here that holds all the elements that our GST manager that our pipeline is gonna be built upon. And you can see we're gonna be using decode bin here. We have the GTK sync and everything else, and you can see. The one thing I want to draw your attention to is the added boolean here. You can see it's a cell, so we're gonna mutate it later down on the line. But essentially, an error that would occur when I initially built this application is if you loaded a file and you wanted to switch the file, it would give you an error because you would have to change the file source, and our GTK sync was already linked to a previous bin. So I had to come up with a way of checking whether or not the initial pipeline was already built, and that's all that this tracks. Has the initial pipeline been built? If it has been built, we have to run a different set of logic, and we're going to go over that in a bit. It's a lot of based on how the GStreamer pipeline works, so I'll link something in the description that there's further reading into how the GStreamer and pipeline works, and you can read through that to get a better understanding. So we have the implementation here. First of all, new just creates all the elements here. We just use the GStreamer element factory method here, so you can see that here. We're just making everything, nothing too crazy. We set added to false because obviously we haven't built the pipeline yet. Get pipeline returns the pipeline. Get paintable sync just returns GTK sync paintable. Set video file name. So this is important here. So first of all, we have the file name that we're gonna get from the dialog box you guys saw, and then we're simply gonna run this command called run pipeline. And you can see there's this extra little function that says if added.get self.reset. So we'll go over that in a bit. Let's go down to run pipeline first, because I think that's more important. Here you just have the pause, play, and stop stream. This is actually really simple. You just set the pipeline to the state of pause, play, or null, which is stop. So let's go down to run set pipeline? No, build pipeline. Here it is. So first of all, what we're doing, we create the element array. It's full of everything that the video is, right? So the T, if you don't know what a T is, it's this thing that has 3 outputs and 1 input. I'll link it in the description. Yeah, this is a lot of GStreamer knowledge, but we have the T, we have the Q, we have the video convert, and we have the video GTK sync. So this is essentially just making sure the video goes to the GTK sync, which is that big window you guys saw. We added to the bin sync. We link the elements. We add a ghost pad. This is very important. The ghost pad allows the GTK sync and the video to talk to each other and the T to be connected to it. Then we have the audio elements. So we have all of those. We add them to the pipeline. We link them, and we make sure it's synced with the pipeline. Okay, so what's this run pipeline then? and as you can see, that's the main function that's called here. Over here, we set video file name, and then we run the pipeline, right? So run pipeline, we have the file source, we set the property to the file name. We create the bin sync, so this is our main sync. This is because of the ghost pad. We have the pipeline being created here, we're linking the pipeline, and we create weak references to them. And here we have a little closure here that checks whether it's an audio pad or a video pad and connects those pads and caps to the whatever it needs to be connected to in the pipeline. And that's essentially what's happening in this bit of code here. And we have a little bit of error handling. And this build pipeline function, it's called when you first initialize GST manager, so it's right here. And let's go over GST reset, because this is important here. So if you look at GST reset, you'll notice that we're removing file source, removing decode bin, and we're removing bin sync. Now, why are we doing that? It's really simple. It's because when you first build a pipeline, if I go down here, you can see we're adding those things to the pipeline. And since the file source is not going to be the same, the decode bin is not going to be the same, and the bin sync is not going to be the same, it's just easier to get rid of all those things and then link them again. Then to find another solution. This is the simplest solution I found. Or else it will give you the error that the GTK4 sync is already present, or all these things are already connected. Why are you recalling this? But you do need to recall this because file source is changing, right? Every time you pick another file. So maybe there's an easier way to do this. I didn't really find anything in the documentation. This is the solution I came up with, but here it is. And then we just call that if added has been set, and the value of added gets changed exactly here every time we're running the pipeline. Next up, I can show you guys what the main looks like. The main is actually probably the simpler part of it. You create the window, you create the GST manager. This bunch of boilerplate, just set it up. Get paintable, so you have to get the paintable sync. Set the paintable sync. This is just the function for calling the dialog that you can choose the file in. You can see here, you can just go through that. This is a lot of GTK4 code, so you can just go through it if you want to. I'll leave a few readings for that in the description too. Make it look pretty, put it in, create the bus, run the bus, create the logic for the play and pause button, append it, and this is more GStreamer stuff that you're gonna need so you can send messages to the console anytime there's an error and such. And that's about it. And here in our main, we're just calling our function, and that's it. Anyways, guys, I'll leave the source code for this in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope you can use this to build your projects. I'll probably work on this a bit more, come up with more complex examples using GStreamer and Rust, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right, see ya.